Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear, again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
It is time to wake and take with Stugotz. 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837. Stu wants to hear from you. 786-456-4837. What's on your mind? 786-456-4837. Have a question for Stu? 786-456-4837. He's taking notes. 786-456-4837. But it is up to you to get them out of him. 786-456-4837. Call now. 786-456-4837. That's 786-456-4837.
It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. I have news, I have thoughts, I have opinions, I have notes, I have written them all down, but it is your job to get them out of me. I can open up a microphone. I can give you my thoughts, my opinions. But that's not how we do it here on Wake and Take. That would be lazy. We make you work. You have to ask the right questions. And if you do, you'll get those thoughts and opinions that you covered out of me. 786-456-4837. That is 786-456-4837. 4837. I'm going to take phone calls. I am telling you right now, phone calls will be taken. But first, we interview Mike Ryan. Mike, World Cup is starting this weekend. You cannot speak until I ask you a question. You good?
Stu, I'm good. Roy, you good?
I'm good.
Billy, you good?
Chris, you good?
Oh.
I'm good. Allison, you good?
Allison, you good? Allison, you good?
Allie good?
Allison, you good?
Allie good?
Allison, you good?
She's good.
You here?
She's here.
All right. World Cup.
Yes.
I'm also good.
Oh.
Hey. What?
Hey. Whoa. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
The biggest sporting event in the world, Stugotz.
Yes.
It starts tomorrow.
Oh, great.
This is so exciting. Even though the United States men's national team did not qualify for the World Cup, Stugotz.
Which would be the exciting part.
We've covered all of that. U.S. men's soccer, and really soccer in this country as a whole, for both men and women, got a huge win this morning. The 2026 World Cup is coming to North America. There's a united bid between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The United States will receive 60 of the 80 matches in that World Cup, including all the matches from the quarterfinals on. So it's basically a United States World Cup with just a couple of cities in Mexico and Canada hosting some group matches. This is huge for our country.
Right.
And it's huge. I'm not even talking sports. I'm not even talking about soccer. This is massive for the country
economy
as a whole. This is huge. It's going to generate $14 billion in revenue. We'll see if those figures actually ring true, but this is unlike other...
Wait, is that just for the U.S., or Canada gets a cut of that, Mexico gets a cut of that, right?
The bid said $14 million. I think that's the joint bid. But again, the United States hosting the vast majority of these games. It's a massive, massive, massive thing. Obviously, an economic boost, and you don't have to poke holes in all the figures that they announce, Stugotz, because usually with these bids, they go to countries that don't have the infrastructure to host these. Lord knows the United States has plenty of stadiums capable of holding World Cup level events, so this should be a generally enjoyable experience and massive. Now, for the sporting aspect, 2026, hopefully the United States soccer program comes a long way. I believe that they've made strides. Everyone's frustrated.
They've been making strides since 1972.
Look, I understand everyone's frustrated. They didn't make the World Cup this year. I'm incredibly frustrated. But good things have been happening with this youth development program, and you're not going to see that overnight.
Jeez.
You're not going to all of a sudden these You're not going to have 29-year-olds ready to play in a World Cup.
Hold on, Guillermo. What are you laughing at back there?
I mean, Stugotz is clearly not frustrated. He couldn't care less that they made the World Cup or didn't make the World Cup.
I've been hearing about this youth developmental league since 1972. That's the year I was born, by the way.
But would you describe yourself as frustrated that the U.S. didn't make the World Cup?
No, I don't care. I mean,
I think even the casual fan,
even if they made it, they wouldn't do anything. I mean, they never do. Except that one time where Landon Donovan did something.
2026, so that's the year. Right?
2026 is the year that we're going to be world champions.
How would you even know that? How would you know who's going to be on the team in 8 years?
Right.
Well, basically the only person you know is going to be on the team in 2026 is Pulisic, who should be 27 years old by then.
How many people do soccer the way Stugotz does it right there? That year that Landon Donovan did a thing.
The thing is,
everyone.
The thing is, it's not even accurate. He had that goal against Algeria in the group stage, but the United States men's team, they made it to the quarterfinal in 2002. That was one game from a semifinal, folks.
Wow, real close.
It's absolutely true.
They were a game away from the semifinals.
They weren't even a game away. They were. I don't know if you remember that game. They were a Torsten Frings handball call away.
They were a game away from a game away.
Yeah. Kind of got downhill since then, though, huh?
That's a major achievement. I don't understand why you guys are
But why is soccer on the rise? I would say at 2002, that was the pinnacle of U.S. soccer, right?
Yes, but unfortunately...
A game away from the semifinals,
Actually,
World Cup, and now they're not even in the World Cup, so it's going the other way, and everyone keeps telling me that soccer's growing here in the United States.
I would argue that the bigger moment for U.S. soccer was probably what Stugotz said initially, which was the Landon Donovan goal.
Big goal.
Even though it was less important, I mean, the 2002 World Cup wasn't viewed the way the 2010 World Cup was. The start times were all off, and soccer wasn't as big as it was in 2002 as it was in 2010. You guys keep laughing. I told you, you're going to die off. 2026 is going to be occupied on the radio by people like me.
We're going to be dead before 2026?
Yes. You're all going to die off, all you naysayers.
Wait, so, I mean, Billy made a good point earlier. Are there a bunch of, so you're confident 2026 is the year? There's a bunch of 8-year-olds running around that you feel good about for the U.S. soccer team?
The best player on that team right now is probably 12 years old. But I don't know if you've watched. You probably no. I know you haven't watched, and I know many haven't watched because why would you watch any United States men's national team games if they're not going to be in a World Cup this year? And even the most casual of sports fans is a little frustrated they don't get to wrap themselves in the flag for 3 matches, especially in June when nothing else is going on. Okay, but they had a great result at France against one of the teams that are one of the favorites in this World Cup, 1-1. They were winning 1-0, and it was all inexperienced kids, teenagers out there. You have Tim Weah out there playing really well.
Yeah.
His father's actually the Liberian president right now. But
wait, what?
Yeah.
And he's on the United States soccer team? How?
His father's the greatest...
Sounds like a traitor.
His father's the greatest African soccer player of all time.
Oh.
Depending on who you ask. Me personally, Didier Drogba, but whatever, I digress. So there's actually exciting young talent here that's getting valuable experience against the likes of France and getting a result against France. I know we do the thing where you say, oh, it's coming. You got 8 years. I'm not even talking about next World Cup.
Wait,
get the program.
Where's the next one?
Wait a minute. We have to wait 8 years?
I know.
So next one, are we going to make the next one?
They friggin' better.
If that 8-year-old develops, man, I mean...
The next one's going to be in Qatar. And that's one of these really corrupt World Cup bids that the U.S. lost out on. So it's actually good that they came out on the winning side. It actually evened out for us. That one's actually going to be held in the wintertime, not the summer, because of the temperatures in Qatar during the summer.
Do we know sites in the United States yet, or that's too far out? Miami has to be one of them, right?
Miami was one of the sites pitched, Stugotz. They pitched several sites, Houston, Orlando, Miami, New York, Dallas. Miami will absolutely be hosting World Cup games in 2026.
Do you guys like big events in the town? I could do without them, to be honest with you.
Kind of a headache.
It's too much. It's too much of a hubbub. There's too many people here. There's traffic everywhere. It's
Put that on the poll. Do you like big events in your town? Seriously. I'm with you. It's a headache.
The traffic is terrible.
Yeah, it's a headache. It's a good poll question, Bill. Put it on. Do you like big sporting events in your town?
Especially if we don't even get like America. What if we get like 2 random countries that are playing here for a game and there's all this traffic?
That's what we're going to get. What do you mean, what if?
You don't think we're going to get a good game?
No.
Why? How would you know?
I mean, The same way you know they're going to be good in 2026. I know. Since 72, people have been telling me I get good soccer games. I haven't gotten a single good soccer game outside of that one game in which Landon Donovan did something.
What are you talking about?
The only game I got maybe a couple of Arrow games with Shep Messing indoor soccer.
Not only are your takes terrible, but they make no sense whatsoever.
I know.
To the point that they can't even be debated.
It's amazing.
How are you rich?
You were talking about the development of 8-year-olds, man. You're making fun of my takes? My takes are lousy. Granted, they are. I mean, it's amazing I've arrived where I've arrived, but you're talking about 12-year-olds, man.
Have you seen the videos of these 12-year-olds?
No.
They look good.
Really?
You guys going to like Kendall Soccer Park and like scouting for the future team 8 years from now? Like, where are you watching these games?
I was at Kendall Soccer Park yesterday, actually, playing a pickup game, and the PSG Youth Academy was cracking out there.
Or pickup soccer games?
Not pickup soccer games. Like, you have to organize these. I don't just show up to a pitch with my bag and my gloves saying, "Hey guys, can I play?"
How is this? How soccer is? Mike Ryan's general wandering around how soccer feels being amid the American public, like right here where he's wandering around this, and everyone is mocking him about his every soccer zealotry.
The thing is, I'm not even a soccer zealot. I'm a soccer fan, and I understand why some people aren't into it, and I'm not going to rub it in your face that you're wrong. Now, if you want to be ignorant like Stugotz and just not make any sense, what can I do with that? But my opinion is not only gaining traction, most people my age and younger have a favorable view of soccer. I know the MLS ratings aren't anything to celebrate, but attendance certainly is. Youth participation is. And let's not forget, our women's national team is badass. They're world champions.
Right.
Okay, so when you talk about soccer in this country, don't be myopic and just say the men's national team. All in all, this country has been a success on the pitch, on the international stage, since 1994 when they hosted, outside of that horrible 1998 World Cup. This is the worst World Cup experience of my life because my team isn't in there. 1998, they made it, and you probably wish they hadn't.
Right.
I understand it's hard to sell growth and development in this country when you just saw a bunch of players in their supposed prime fail. They couldn't beat Trinidad and Tobago. I get all of that. You don't have to worry about qualification, by the way, in 2026. As a host, you're automatically through.
Oh, really? I don't think that's fair. Should be some pressure to make it into the World Cup, when your own country is hosting it. There really should be. You like that rule, Billy? If you host it, your team automatically gets in?
I mean, it seems like we're just hosting World Cups to make sure we can get in them.
Exactly right. Yes. Chris, you like that rule? I don't like it. You got to earn your way in, man.
I like the rule.
Why?
Because
you won't get in any other way.
The country will not be as interested in the World Cup if their country's not in it.
I could actually do away with that rule.
Oh.
But it is exciting when you see a country, typically South Africa, for instance, they don't really qualify for World Cup. So their only opportunity to make a World Cup was when they hosted. And those games with South Africa and the fans behind them were very exciting. They didn't make it out of the group stage, but typically hosts do make it out of the group stage. And this year, it's very interesting because it's in Russia. And you know what happens to anybody who opposes Putin.
Oh, boy.
Imagine if the Super Bowl's host team was in every year. That's ridiculous.
Right. Well, that year it was in New York. I mean, Jets and Giants.
Yeah, that's the Super Bowl. Jets and Giants.
That's my way in. I guess I like this rule.
It'd be if the team hosting it made the playoffs every year. That would be a good comparison.
There's also a major misconception with what the World Cup is. People think that the World Cup is just a competition that happens once every 4 years. What you're watching starting this week is actually what's known as the World Cup Finals.
Oh.
Okay? The World Cup, the United States were actually in the World Cup. There are games with stakes. They got eliminated by Trinidad and Tobago. They didn't make it past the qualification stage. But right here, this is the culmination of a tournament that's lasted 3 years. And the real zealots have actually been watching that with a passion. It's not just once every 4 years. Now, this is the cherry on top, and this is the greatest sporting event in the world, and it's a bummer we're not there. But it's not like we weren't in the World Cup.
I thought the misconception was that it was interesting. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, Stugotz, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Don Le Batard.
Hey, gravy vampire.
I'll stop laughing at these. I'm sorry.
Gravy vampire is good, right?
Stugotz.
I don't even know what it means exactly. Like, what am I doing? Am I just showing up while you're eating gravy and I wait for you to consume it and then I attack your neck so I can get the gravy as it goes down?
You suck the gravy out of people.
Right, okay, but I just hang out at like Golden Corral waiting for people to put extra gravy. Like, how does this extraordinarily niche vampire work?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket. Time to traverse the royal splendor of His Majesty's most noble kingdom. Here now is your sovereign supreme royal highness, King Roy.
King Roy will speak now.
Hail to the king.
Silence!
It's good being the father, man. It really is.
Yes, indeed, Your Grace.
It's the little moments, you know. Like last night, I was with my daughter, Princess Claire. And I was feeding her a little tube of like little Happy Tots, whatnot. You know, the kind of stuff that Billy usually eats, you know.
Delightful.
It was wonderful. She enjoyed herself. She was laughing and everything. I did a little video of it on Instagram. Yeah. A video on Instagram. Well, it is a video. A video on Instagram. It was delightful. And, you know, this is a forever type thing. I'm looking forward to doing this forever, man.
Instagram?
When she's 20?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds incredible, my liege.
Yeah. And we got this Father's Day event tomorrow, and me and Chris are gonna field questions from people who are gonna show up, and it's gonna be interesting. I believe I have some good stories. I'm gonna save them for tomorrow.
Share one now, Roy.
No, I'm not gonna show. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow.
It's very kind of you to share tales with the peasants tomorrow, King. Our king is a giving king, is he not? He is.
Have you what have you done with your daughter, Chris?
My daughter?
Yes,
a common baby. I do many things with her. She is adorable as well, but not as adorable as Princess Claire. Of course not! Of course not! Who would say such a thing? Just to be clear, you weren't intimating that.
You have pleased the king.
Silence!
Jeez. Have you guys seen that raccoon that's been climbing up that skyscraper yesterday?
Is the raccoon safe?
I do not know. I don't have an update on said raccoon.
It look adorable.
It did. I felt.
But not as adorable as a princess. Do you need a raccoon, King? I will get you one.
Yes, I need a raccoon.
I will get you two.
Thank you. Can you go out and get one for me?
My family is starving, but I shall give you all my food. What? Raccoon.
Taxes. I want taxes from you, Mike.
Just wanted a raccoon.
So the raccoon was on top of a skyscraper?
Yes, it was outside of a window.
What is a window?
Like, I was afraid for that raccoon. I mean, it was several stories up.
Why did you command
It was a skyscraper.
What is window?
Why didn't you command someone to save said raccoon, King Roy?
Because I was busy with Claire.
Claire, the princess. Holy be thy name.
Oh, man.
What is the princess up to today?
She is at her grandmother's house right now.
Is she enjoying tummy time?
She is ready to crawl right now as we speak.
Her grandmother's the former queen, right?
Sorry.
Sorry. I mean, that's how that happened, though, right?
No.
She was the former queen of her kingdom, yes.
She's the step queen.
The step... No, that would be the queen-in-law.
You've gotten the lineage wrong, peasant.
The step grand queen.
Go to the penalty pit there.
Oh, wow. A pit.
Whoa!
2 shekels.
What? Shekels?
The power is going to your head, King Roy.
I am a tyrant.
Don't talk to him that way.
Get to me.
Don't
You
talk
are
to him
still
that
my
way. You
king, and
crazy.
you are fair and just.
Thank you.
In fact, you put the Roy in royal.
Thank you. Kneel to me.
Guillotine for Guillermo.
Off with his puny head. How many centuries will he be there?
2 centuries. 2 centuries.
Wow.
Well, this is medieval times. He's probably only going to live to 19. What else is on your mind, fair king?
There's a sad. This wild story coming out of Ottawa right now with Eric Carlson's wife. Apparently, she's filed a restraining order on the fiance of Carlson's former teammate Mike Hoffman. It's crazy
Quite
story.
a heavy topic, King Roy. It's a bit of a downer.
It is a downer.
Do you want to hear what some of the people are saying about the segment, King Roy?
Sure.
Why are
Please,
you letting
go
me
ahead.
speak?
I will let you speak.
Thank you, King
I will
Roy.
honor your wishes, great king.
Thank you.
If he sets out of line, I shall fetch the dragon.
Yes. Do your job, Mike. Thank you.
Texture writes in, this is flat out terrible. Texture writes in, such an aimless segment.
Silence!
Hold on. Why is it King taking care of his daughter instead of some midwife? I think that's a good question.
Fair
I'm sorry.
one. Fair.
Hands-on father!
That's right.
I'm sorry, dear King, for reading the ones I shouldn't have read instead of just a question for the King.
If I
Sorry.
if I am to pass on the kingdom to my daughter, I need to be hands-on. That is why. How about that?
Very wise, King Roy! But
Thank you.
please tell me the queen is giving you a son.
Oh, we are hoping for a son, yes.
Keep in mind, medieval times were not progressive.
No.
King Roy, Bellamy the Third!
That.
RB3!
How did you escape?
That was
penalty
weird.
pit.
Corporate ass covering from one of the jesters just got.
But yes, we are going to try for a son later down the line.
How exciting for the kingdom!
Thank you.
Again, those opinions are not my own. It's just, character playing.
Yes. Yes.
Anything else on your mind, great and noble King Roy?
No, not really. No.
That's
it.
King
Just-
Roy, why don't you have people raising your children for you? We addressed that question while you were in the pit of misery. Oh.
2 more shekels. Pay up.
What? How did he come back? I thought he was sent away for centuries. What happened?
He escaped, apparently. You need to get that dragon.
I felt as though the king needed my assistance. Clearly he does.
Yeah.
Because this segment's supposed to last 10 minutes and we only had 7
And you saw how dark he went in the 6th minute?
Yeah.
Lord knows there's been plenty of filler. I would
Right.
never question your decisions, King, but sending me away continuously is not a good one.
Go to the penalty pit. Go.
Stop doing that. I would prefer trying to help you here. Stay your place.
No, you go. Go. You need to go.
I beg you.
And leave your 2 shekels.
Great and noble King, just please reconsider, great King. This on we need myself. We need him for content relief.
No, I need you to stay there, Night Mike.
I shall stay.
Jester, Chris, you need to stay as well.
All right. We're drowning, King. We're drowning.
But Lord Billy, you need to leave.
Oh, what a terrible decision, King. This kingdom will be overthrown.
How can you be so disrespectful?
Silence, peasant!
Throw you out of this kingdom.
I tried to help you, King.
No, you didn't.
I'm going to a neighboring kingdom now.
Traitor!
Traitor! Now, typically as a host, you set up the following segment, which shall be something called Sir David Samson.
Sir David Samson, former president of the
I would not
Miami
trust
Marlins.
him, Roy. He's always looking for handouts.
He is deviant. Backstabber.
Devious. Deviant.
He is a deviant. A deviant.
Those are two
That's a fun.
very different things.
I apologize. He is devious. He is devious. I'm turning into Stugotz now.
Also, make sure to vote for Louis Brinson to the All-Star game.
Please
How
vote.
do I do that? You go to Vote.com.
What is this .com?
Shouldn't the king be demanding that of his subjects?
Make a royal proclamation, Roy.
Vote for Lewis Brinson for the All-Star game.
Yes!
Yes!
Your royal subjects, please vote for Lewis Brinson.
And if they don't?
Jesus here demanded, King.
How is he back?
Then off with their heads.
Whoa!
Wow.
Speaking of which, why are you back, Lord Billy?
How did you get back?
Get that dragon.
This is your bedroom. This is your bedroom with Blue Chew. Blue Chew uses the same active ingredients as in Viagra or Cialis, but now comes in chewable form. Chewable means better, cheaper, and works faster than pills. No in-person doctor visit, no waiting in line, no more awkwardness. 100% online at BlueChew.com, where your first order is free. Just pay $5 shipping. Use promo code DAN at BlueChew.com and restart the party.
Don Le Batard.
Here is what Gilbert Arenas did on Twitter. This is unwise for a number of reasons. I would like to inform all the big ballers out there, I'm the reason big strip clubs fingerprint now. I'll order $80,000 worth of ones, throw about $40,000 of it to the strippers, sneak the rest out of the club. Have one of my teammates sign that bill, wake up the next day, call American Express. My card was stolen at the strip club last night, and these charges ain't mine. And with a no questions asked policy, once they see it's not your signature, they refund all your money back, LMAO. So I got the $80,000 I spent back, plus the $40,000 I took out of the club.
It's a heady play.
Stugotz.
Now he's told everyone, and they will start an investigation. And if this is true, there's going to be jail time.
That's not heady.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Former Marlins team president David Samson going to join us right now in the Orion Fuel and Downstairs Convenience Store guest line. They are truly steps beyond convenient.
Samson delighted in sending off texts reminding us that we are more roar than reach when the All-Star voting came out and Lewis Brinson was not among the chief vote getters. And when you looked at the numbers of the people who were among the chief vote getters, they were pretty paltry. Those numbers were paltry. I made excuses for you, Guillermo. I said that you bailed on the cause out of human decency and also because you're a coward. And so that you didn't fully commit to the cause, but I only did that to cover your ass.
I'm telling you, something's up. We have a celebrity endorser now, by the way. We can unleash him later today or maybe tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, to try to get this back up and going again. Because I'm telling you, those numbers, something was off there. I want to see a full breakdown of all the vote getters and see exactly where Bryn Diesel was. Because I can't believe that we didn't get in the top 15. With all the things people were saying.
All you had to do was get 100,000 votes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
People voting 5 times a day.
Listen, we got those numbers. I'm telling you, we got like at least 250,000, and that's a low estimate. I'm telling you, we broke this down the other day, David. Correct me if I'm wrong here on this math. Dan has like 400,000 followers, right? So, if a quarter of those people vote for him, the bare minimum 5 times, right? That's 500,000 right there. And we were getting people telling us that they made like 5, 6, 7 emails. So I think that we had at least like 2 million votes. But they didn't want us to come out with Lewis Brinson having 2 million votes, just destroying the competition and embarrassing Bryce Harper at his hometown All-Star game. So some of those votes,
Is it possible that there's an accounting fix the same way you guys would fudge the attendance all those years at Marlins Park, making it twice as large as it is? Is it possible that there's been some nefarious behavior, some tomfoolery?
They try to save the nefarious behavior to right before the end of the voting. They really don't do it this quickly. It would have been great to have Brinson up that high. Your math, by the way, is so bad that you need to get a new abacus.
Yes, Lord Billy.
No, I'm telling you, they knew that this thing was going to pick up steam, and they needed to nip this in the bud right away. They didn't want this getting very far.
You know, I got a call from the commissioner's office, and we were talking through all of the different people getting votes and all the issues going around baseball, and the Lewis Brinson to start in the All-Star game did not make the top 2,000 issues facing MLB right now.
Oh, that's how cover-ups work, though.
Exactly.
It has to be hush. There's a hush-hush.
Did you fudge attendance, by the way? Did you ever do that? Be honest, Dave. Come on.
No, there was no fudging.
Oh, come on.
We would do it. There was no fudging, but we would make sure that if the numbers were lower than what we would have liked, we would go ahead and buy tickets. You can't fudge attendance because it's paid attendance. So we would buy empty tickets for, let's say, $1. Could announce that as part of our attendance.
Explain that to me. Is that a normal thing?
Petty play.
No.
Okay, and why? Explain to me the logic of that. Why would one do that? Just I don't understand it. Is all like why do you need to not be embarrassed with the attendance numbers?
Well, you're talking about you're trying to get momentum with corporate sponsors. You're trying to get people to feel good in Miami about being at a place where there are people. And we're not talking about crazy numbers. We're talking about thousands, not millions. And what we're trying to do is make it more hip. And when you're not winning games, you got to do anything you can so your sponsors and your fans feel good about being a part of it.
The problem is that the documents that Jeter submitted to baseball had those numbers as if they were real. Like, had those attendance numbers in that document, Wolverine or whatever the hell that thing was. Like they were all those tickets bought by Samson for $1.
Yeah, I never saw that, so I have no idea. But that's not the point. Listen.
That's a funny one.
It's amazing, though. Jeter's looking around. Like, wait a minute.
I thought Samson told us there was 50,000 here.
Wait, there were supposed to be thousands more here, and then I've got dollars missing.
The way we would do it is
who was spending petty cash buying tickets?
We would go around the concourse with a pail looking for dollar bills, or we'd look for coins that were stuck behind seats, and that's how we determine how many extra people were at the game that day.
This may be an idiot question or an obvious question. How is that legal?
It's actually not illegal at all. You can, when you're announcing paid attendance, you can pay for whatever you want. Think about it. If there's 10,000 people who bought tickets in advance, but the day of the game you buy another 1,000 tickets at $1 each, your attendance becomes 11,000. There's nothing illegal about that. Remember, we're audited by the union, we're audited by MLB, and we have our own auditors as the baseball team. So all we did was make the average ticket price much lower by having so many tickets purchased at $1.
But, David, that's 100% fudging the numbers. I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, it feels like it. It feels like you're climbing through a gray area loophole, which, as a lawyer, you're good at those.
Listen, without loopholes, I'd be stuck at the bottom rung.
Why wouldn't you just buy 37,000 season tickets for $1 a game and then resell them after?
Well, because that's actually a very funny thing. We had a conversation maybe 5 years ago while we were still looking at, or now, God, it's 10 years ago. We were looking at the stadium and trying to figure out how to do a public-private partnership, and we were trying to figure out ways to get our season ticket numbers up. And I'm only sorry that you didn't email me that suggestion earlier, because that would have been brilliant. We could have led the league in season tickets. Man, oh man, we missed that
Great
one.
idea.
What is the movie that you're reviewing for us this week?
So I've had a weird week of no sleeping and watching some random movies. 2 days ago, I watched the David Cassidy documentary on A&E, which we should talk about. It was as pathetic as it was engaging. But last night, in the middle of the night, was a movie called Maudie with Ethan Hawke and Sally Hawkins. Interesting movie, not well seen. Sally Hawkins is a brilliant actress who was in The Shape of Water, the Academy Award-winning movie last year. Ethan Hawke plays a very rude, mean husband of a real-life woman named Maud Lewis, who had arthritis but was this amazing painter. And I just want people to see it, just to watch the performance of Sally Hawkins, who does not get enough attention, a brilliant actress, and this is her number one role. It's a cerebral movie. It is slow but entertaining, and the end, the juice is well worth the squeeze. It is strange to see Ethan Hawke play this character that is so unlikable. He's played sort of evil characters before, but in this one he's an abusive, sort of angry man who has a turn right at the end of the movie. Well worth it. Well worth it.
Miguel Cabrera, you are linked to him in a number of different ways over many years. He is now hurt for the season. These contracts in the sport, David, where you have to start paying people for 5 years you know you're not going to get from them, where you have to give them the giant contract that pays them into their 40s, like with Pujols. Are they dangerous in any way, or is that just the price of doing business in a non-salary capped league?
Well, you just have to do the math. So when we tried to get Pujols back in 12, we offered him, I want to say 10 years, $202 million. So let's say $20 million a year. And we said he probably has 7 of those years where he will be worth that. So what we said is, you're really doing 200 over 7. Can you live with that? And I think that's what the Tigers may have done with Cabrera, but they signed him way too early. Dombrowski gave him that $200 plus $1 million deal before he was even a free agent. And right now I feel terribly for Miguel. He's had such a great career, but people are remembering him now for the fact that he's hurt the last 2 years more than he's ever been, and he's still signed through 23. It's not the end of the world for Detroit, assuming they just write it off. They may have insurance for it. It's not killing the sport the way I claimed that the Ichiro deal was 10 years ago. It's not. It's just making teams rebuilding much more difficult.
What can you tell us about the early years of Miguel Cabrera? Because he doesn't seem like the type who took very good care of himself.
He was remember, we called him up in 03. He was 20 years old, and he was batting cleanup in the World Series his first year. And he had the view that that's how life was going to be. He'd win multiple rings. Everything would be perfect. And like many players find out, when you live hard, like we all do, you're up late at night, you play baseball, you have to be in shape. When you're young, you're invincible. All of a sudden, you get older, your body hurts, you don't recover as well from nights out, and it just changes the way you can play. And there's a lot of examples of players who, as they get older, become less effective because they continue to live the way they lived, but they can't recover. And by the way, it's the same for us, right? We're 50. The hangovers are worse now than they were 20 years ago. And so for Miguel, he just needs to realize that he's not young anymore. But these injuries have nothing to do with partying. They have nothing to do with staying up too late. They're just bad luck. You have to ask why he's getting more injured now, that certain parts of his body are getting more injured now than they were. Is it only a function of age? Wait to see.
David, does a day go by where you don't think about that trade?
Yes. Many days go by.
Really?
Almost every day. I haven't thought about that since I saw...
David, it was the worst trade in the history of baseball.
It actually, only looking back, guys, I'll take heat for so many trades that were so bad. Just keep in mind that Dontrelle Willis ended up not performing after that trade, and Maben and Miller were 2 of the top 5 prospects in all of baseball. It would be like getting Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Acuna in one trade. And that's a trade that we had to do because we couldn't afford Cabrera at that time. So do I regret trading Cabrera? Of course I do. He was so fun to watch and travel with and be a part of his life. But at the time, we got 2 great prospects who just ended up not having the careers we thought they would.
Speaking of Cabrera, and you know what happened so tragically to Jose Fernandez, you guys get more information than we do on everything. Can you give us the player that you remember as being the most off-field upkeep that you guys had, just in terms of concerned or needing to talk to him about, hey, you need to slow down? Like, was that something that you guys did?
We did. We tried not to get too involved in off-field because we wanted the players to understand that they're grown men and they had jobs to do. There's no doubt that Cabrera ran hard, but he was one of 100 players who we had who did that. It's not uncommon to have even pitchers who are pitching the next day out till 2 a.m. the night before, and then they come out and can throw 8 shutout or get taken out in the first inning. We never saw a correlation, and this is before analytics, but we never saw a correlation between the amount of hours spent out drinking and partying or up all night with a woman, let's say, the night before a game and the performance in the game the next day. We just never saw it. In terms of safety, we just wanted to make sure that there were no DUIs, and we had plenty of those, unfortunately. We wanted to make sure that no one got hurt or hurt anyone else. And unfortunately, in the greatest example of getting it wrong, we got it wrong with Jose. Completely wrong.
CBS Sports HQ is where you find him these days, giving baseball analysis different than the average executive. How do people find you, though, David? You want to tell people where they can find you?
CBSSports.com/live. It's a 24-hour streaming network. We have a lot of fun. There's some great hosts. And as an analyst, like on this show, I'm willing to say anything on the air because I'm not getting back into baseball right now. So there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of controversies every day to talk about. And as you know, I'll say it all.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.
We have our American Ninja Warrior footage ready for release. They are very tight-fisted. We had to sign all sorts of paperwork. We did this 2 months ago. What am I allowed to tell the audience? We're going to air that on television. Are we on ESPN Ooze today?
Yes.
On ESPN Ooze, in an hour and 10 minutes, you're going to want to watch. We'll do a radio segment during it, so we're not going to be able to watch. But if you can get to a television, Charlie in Washington is put together with much effort. Roy participated. I mean, we're all out there except for Chris and Stugotz, but Allison, me, Amin was out there talking trash. Guillermo was looking like just a regal warrior. Like he looked like something. Guillermo, it's just strange that he goes from nebbish, neurotic, useless person
to great athlete
to just chest puffed out. I'm Thor now. This American Ninja Warrior course is something I poop when I get up in the morning, and then I go into my radio job and I'm scared of everything. It's the weirdest thing. Like Guillermo was out there. I don't want to give away too much, but there was one of the dudes competing, and Guillermo just threw a javelin at him. It was crazy. Guillermo, can you explain it to me? Because it's weird.
I mean, I'm going to need a couple weeks off coming up to go to the finals in Vegas. Not to spoil anything, but
you looked so good out there. Anyways, we'll talk about it more next if we're allowed. I'm not sure we